Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me tonight. Derek Lane, your host for the Fast Lane Podcast for Success. Thank you for joining me again. Tonight's subject, we'll talk about emotions. Why do we have emotions? What is the need? What do they represent? The good, the bad. What do we get out of them? Understand a little bit about emotions. Thank you. Can't wait for this thing to kick off. This is great. All right. Okay, good. Listen, tonight, the Emotions podcast. When you get angry, why do you get angry? Well, most of you is going to be like, well, it's because somebody ticked me off or some event happened in my life and I got angry. I'm only human. Well, understand this. That's an emotion you chose. You chose to get angry. Something happened that was diametrically opposed to where you are, your feelings. If you expected it and you knew it was coming, you wouldn't get angry. But it was totally left field. You didn't expect it, so you got angry. Anger is a form of weakness. It is a form of doubt in your own creativity. It is a form of disillusion in your own creativity. So you have to understand that anger can be a very detrimental part of your life. I know we're talking about emotions overall, but, the strongest one is anger. Guilt, resentment, all of those negative emotions. And why do you think they call them negative emotions? They're negative upon you. You need to understand that when things happen to you, and again, I promise all of you guys that I'm never meant to be so cliche into things that, you go, right, I've heard this before. But you have to understand the reality of it, the clarity of it, is that when you experience a situation and it prompts you to act in a way that's maybe not dignified, that's not true to your nature, then that got the better of you. That situation was stronger than you. Going through life, you need to be strong. And with anything, I've taught you that learning, finance. If you want finance, you have to understand finance. If you want a relationship, you need to understand relationships. You can't just drift along in life and hope for good things. You have to understand the elements of your life. Emotions are one of the biggest elements of your life that you deal with day in, day out. Your jubilation, your dejection, whatever it is that you're feeling, you have to understand it. You have to deal with it. Anger, disappointment, grief, negative emotions. Again, those are the ones that I want to concentrate on because they have the biggest impact, the most lingering effect upon your psyche. I know you've not heard this before. You really haven't heard this before. And now it's time that you do hear it. When people or actions come into your life. They cause negative emotions. You need to understand that emotion. You need to understand the basis of what's going on, not just the emotion, and then react. See, some of the things that get you in trouble the most is your reaction to situations. Yeah, well, he said my mom was a, whatever. That person said that, my sister was a, whatever. They're just words, okay? Why did someone say something about you? It's because they were trying to get under your skin. If you react that way, they did. They won. Well, yeah, Derek, but I'm not going to let somebody say something about me and go, okay, I'm not going to let you win, so just keep on saying what you need to say. No, I'm not going to let that happen. No, you're right. You shouldn't. But you should be calm when you correct the person. You should be calm and not let your emotions dictate your actions. Again, do not let your emotions dictate your actions. 180. When you're surrounded with, gratitude and jubilation and all the, bubbly accolades that people can bestow upon you, and you're feeling great and you act accordingly, you're acting in emotion. Understand the emotions for what they are. I'm not saying don't enjoy the good things in life. That's why they're here. Enjoy the good things in life. But understand the realness, the true meaning of what's going on in your life at all times. If you succumb to people's whims, their guilt trips, their pressure, you're not in control. You're not allowing yourself to be in control. You are the person in charge of your life. Okay? When you're born, you have a parental set. Most of us have a parental set. Some of us, a parent, singular. However, you learn from that person. You learn from the people that you respect and look up to, that you hold as your teacher at the moment. Way back in a few episodes, we talked about how the parents are your primary set, and then you go to school and you start to develop an understanding that maybe other people have clues in life that can help you. You go to your friends, and you develop other avenues of interpretation, which is good. You should always be open-minded, but understand ultimately that it is you. You are the one that controls your mindset. You are the one that controls who you are at all times, and that you are the one that has a fingerprint on everything you do and say. And realize that everything that you do and say is controlled by you. Nobody else made you do it. Yeah, there's pressure and intensiveness in some areas, and peer pressure to go along. There's been world dictators that made a country feel like that they've got the right agenda, follow along. There will always be great leaders, there will always be bad leaders. Get what I'm saying? There's people that can lead you into greatness. There's people that can lead you into negativity. Iniquities are temptations. They're actions of negativism. So you have to decide as a person, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to lead my life? And see, there's a balance there too, because some people say, well, okay, I could be, little Miss Goody Two Shoes, or, Mr. Clean, but that's no fun. You hear songs about it. It's, your group. Come on, be adventurous, be wild. Okay, be adventurous, be wild. Just don't do anything stupid. Listen to your gut. Your gut will always tell you. If you're in the wrong group of people, your crowd, you get out of that crowd. No one's holding you down. No one's making you stay. It's your life. I guess that's the theme. It's your life. Live your life the way that you want to live it. The way that you envision it. The things that you want out of life. You see, there are people that live a life that says, hey, I want a family. I want, a house in the suburbs. And, I want a little, squeaky clean job, that maybe I'm an accountant, whatever. And that's great. And you go through life and you're blissfully, tuned into what you do. Fantastic. But there are other people that says, you know what, that's dull, that's boring. I'm going to be a little more rambunctious. I'm going to be a little more out there. I need a little adventure in my life. If I don't have a scare here and there, then, if I don't get the part of the heart pumping, then, screw it. It ain't worth living, And so they do little things. They get in a little trouble. A little trouble turns into a little more trouble, and but that's okay. That's what they chose. You have to understand who you are, what you want. See, for the smart people, and I'm not saying this lightly. The smart people understand. They have a feel for who they are. They have a very deep-seated knowledge of who they are. And that's what they work on. They may not be the suburb type, but they're not the criminal type. They're the go-getter type. They do what they want to do, but they go after it with a zest, a vigor for life. So they go after it. And they do it. And they keep their goal in mind. They don't get distracted. Distractions are dream killers. Okay? People that you allow into your life that give you distractions. And they can be clever. They can be disguised as people that want to help you. You say, oh, this guy right here, this girl, whoever, they're looking out for me. No. If there's a shadow of a doubt. Look, you're the leader.